Hey guys, welcome to a new series I'm doing on Cinema 4D tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at how cloth sims can be used to simulate the effect of wind can have on clothes or hair. Okay, let's get straight into it. New project, add a floor first of all. Now we're going to add a plane then. So the plane will be kind of our cloth that we're going to be doing the simulation on. So we'll kind of try and make it the same proportions as a flag or something, say, not just a basic square. So once you've got that sized up, we're going to make it editable by pressing this button here. After it's editable, we want to go into the point mode and select these points along the edge. So these will be our anchor points for the simulation to work off. Then we're going to add a cloth sim. So the cloth sim needs to know what points it's anchoring off. So to do that, we go into the dresser mode and select those points. So fixes those points. Okay, then after that, we'll just do a quick sim, see what it's looking like. So the gravity is the only thing that's affecting it at the moment, so it's just being pulled down to earth straight away. So to fix that, we're going to change the gravity to say minus 0.5, so not as strong. Then the drag will keep it 0. The wind direction X will be 2. And the rest of them will be, Y will be 0, X, let's put it to minus 1. Then the wind strength, let's put that to 3. And the wind turbulence speed, we'll set that to 1. So now we'll see what this looks like as a sim. So that's looking a lot better, but we need more points for the simulation. As you can see, it's needs some subsampling in there, it's very rough. So to fix that, what we're going to do is add a subdivision object. So drop down menu, subdivision, place a plane inside it, and here we go. It's nice and smoothed out. Now the next thing we need to fix is that initial kind of burst of energy at the start. So we don't want that happening. We want it to just be consistently moving. We don't want a quick burst of energy at the start and then for it to settle down. So to do this, we're going to just let the simulation play out for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then we'll go into the cloth simulation tag and go into the dress mode and set initial state. So the state that you're seeing on the screen right now, this frame, will be the initial state. It won't start at a completely flat surface. So the next thing to do, I guess, is add a collider object, see how that works. So we'll add a cube in as a collider object. So let's create a cube, size it up quickly, and maybe add some fillet to the corners just to make the edges a little bit smoother. So I think I went for here on a radius of 10 on this because it was a bit too smooth there. So we'll change this to 10 so the edges are rounded. And then right click on the cube, simulation, cloth collider. And that's all you got to do in the cube really. The rest of the tweaking will be done on the actual simulation, the cloth simulation, the flag basically. Okay, let's run this again, see what it's looking like. So we need to change the wind direction so that it actually faces, the flag will eventually start folding over the cube. So to do that, we're just going to change the X direction. Let's change that to say 2, and this should now, yeah, so now it's going over the cube as a collider object. But you can see here there's a bit of clipping going through it, so a really easy way to fix this is just go into the expert mode and you can either change up the subsampling or you can change the point EPS. So this will just give a bigger radius of points to choose from when it's detecting the collider object. So here it's still clipping through a little bit, so I usually just go with the point EPS and just crank that up to maybe 15 or 20, and that should sort it. So that's pretty much cloth sims and cloth colliders in under a few minutes. You can tweak away at the wind settings and the wind turbulence to get it exactly the way you want it. So let's go on to another scene now. So I've loaded up another scene here, and this is a character from COD Zombies, Misty, and I want to animate the hair, just make it look like it's blowing in the wind. So what I want to do here is grab the mesh of the hair and select current state to object, and this will create an object with no skin attached or no binding to the skeleton. So we want to grab that piece of mesh, which can't be animated now, it's just a piece of mesh, and drag it outside the body and get rid of the skin tag. Right click again, and what we want to do here is just create a cloth sim. And same as the previous tutorial, basically we want to go into point mode and select all the points where the cloth is going to be anchored from, the simulation will be anchored from. So What you want to do as well is maybe just make visible only the hair for now, just to isolate it from the scene. So using the lasso tool, we want to just grab a clump of the hair there, so all those points are going to be the anchor points. Go to dress mode, set fixed points, set it to there. So I'll set the gravity again to something low. Basically the forces is the main kind of parameters that you need to be messing around with to make sure that your sim looks good. So I'll just keep tweaking these here until I get it kind of blowing in the right direction and I'm kind of happy with it. So you'll notice that some of clumps of hair are falling off, so that's fine, we just let them fall and then we can make that point the initial point. So in the final scene you won't see the clumps of hair falling off. Those clumps of hair are just not anchored to those points of mesh that we selected, so they might be anchored further down somewhere, but that's fine. So right here I'm quite happy with how the sim is working out. Just keep tweaking it until it looks pretty good. Then we'll set the initial state so that it's after all those clumps of hair have fallen out. So I might add a subdivision surface as well, just to make the points a little bit smoother. We can add back in the rest of the scene and just do a quick render and see what that looks like. So that's it really for this tutorial in general. So we've covered colliders, cloth simulations on just basic plane, and then cloth simulations on something more complex like this hair mesh. So if you have any requests for any additional tutorials, just leave a comment in the description and I'll see what I can do. Thanks guys.